Hello everybody, welcome to Flannery's genealogy videos. I'm Brian Flannery. Today we're going to be at the Oldtown Cemetery. Now I'm going to take my time and try to explain this. Now where the church sits, the church building, is one section, and then across the road is another section. So I'll try to this side is the church side we're going to be on today, and then probably in some future videos the other side of the road will be I'll refer to as the Womack side of the Oldtown Cemetery. And then there's also a Blevins section too, but we shouldn't be in there, but who knows where we'll go with this. But today we'll be looking at John Singleton Flannery and his wife at their stones. And as a child and growing up, I drove by this cemetery and seen the tombstones. Really never paid a whole lot of attention. Well, for one thing, you really couldn't hardly see the stone where it's at in the road. When two people, you have to really be watching the road, because it's kind of a dangerous spot where the church steps come down right into the road, and it's just kind of a blind spot. So there's not a whole lot of looking off. So the older I got and the more brave I got looking off, I finally seen it when I got up in years. Never did really look at it a whole lot, but I used to mow this cemetery when I had my lawn service, and I mowed it on the church side. I didn't mow across the road on the Womack side of the cemetery. And all right, folks, here is John Singleton Flannery and his wife, Elizabeth Marilyn Howerton Flannery. John Singleton Flannery is the son of Reese Bowling Flannery and Martha Dickerson Flannery. And I'm talking slow, because I'm thinking of this on the top of my head, so bear with me when I talk real slow with this. But John Singleton is the son of Reese Bowling Flannery and Martha Dickerson Flannery. Elizabeth Marilyn, here on the left, is the daughter of John Ambrose Howerton and Virginia Bowling Howerton Flannery. And if that name sounds familiar, then you will know that Virginia Bowling Howerton Flannery was the second wife of John Hampton Flannery, which is buried on Hog Branch, and he's my great-great-grandfather. Now this part of the cemetery, I got to thinking, at the Greenup County Library, is referred to as the Flannery Davis section. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Flannerys, and then there's 4 Davises here. And we'll not concentrate too much on it. I'm telling you wrong. There's 2, 4, 6 Davises. So John Singleton, he left Elliott County, come down here and worked and farmed, and he was a first cousin to John Hampton Flannery. And these are their children. I don't know a whole lot about them. I will say this, it's amazing how the Flannery names are repetitious. If you've watched the Luther Flannery Cemetery photo or video, you know that was John Hampton's, he had a son named Luther Edward, and here's another Luther. So somewhere they was probably named after each other. This one was probably named after Luther Edward. And Maddie Flannery, if you look back at the Jimmy Flannery Cemetery, Matty Flannery is probably named after the Matty Flannery in Elliott County, which is the son of James Oscar. And name repetition always has always kind of intrigued me. Now, one thing I will say is that's a pretty good way to know if somebody ties in. I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but I will say that it's a pretty good way of saying, you know, see, like John Singleton here. John Singleton's father was Reese Bowling. Well, and then Reese Bowling's father was Jack Jr. Flannery there in Elliott County, the cemetery we done the other day, Friday. Jack Jr.'s brother was Singleton. His name was Singleton Flannery, and married Delilah Webb. So that's how these name repetitions go. Now I'm going to show you across the road here. We'll go over and look. Now if you'll look over there, that is the Womack, what I call the Womack part of the Oldtown Church Cemetery, or the Oldtown Cemetery. The Oldtown Christian Church, established 1939. This is a view from the Womack side, looking back onto the side where the Flannery Davis, and then the Virgin section is over in there. Now we're on the Womack side, the north side of the Oldtown Cemetery, and we're looking at John Wade Flannery. In a past video, if you'll go back and look, he's the one I mentioned that he's my great uncle and a cousin at the same time. And I know we get a lot of flack from being from East Kentucky, but that stuff happens, and I'll explain that here in just a minute. But I was a pallbearer for John Wade, and he lived on the Hog Branch. He retired from Delco Moraine, and I think in 79 or 1980, moved back here to Greenup County, where he was born and raised. And we used to mow his yard, and my dad would take him to the doctor and to the town, and done his driving for him in later years. And I'm going to move over to my right, and this is his wife, Reva Anadine Felty Flannery. Now, Reva Anadine, we always called her Anadine, was a sister to my grandmother Flannery. She died of cancer. I'm going to move over here past the rose bush and come over here to this one. This one is Olive Tracy Howerton Flannery. She was the wife of Luther Edward Flannery, who was buried on Hog Branch at the Luther Flannery Cemetery. Now I'll move over here, and I'm going to try to move this rose bush back a little bit so you can see maybe the dates. I'd say this is an old rose that was planted by some of the family. Now, this is Virginia Ellen Bowling Howerton Flannery, and she is the second wife, was the second wife of John Hampton Flannery, and also the mother of Olive Tracy Howerton, and then the John Singleton Flannery's wife, Elizabeth Maryland, I think was her name. I'll back up and let you see it with the rose covering it. I don't know if it's an old rose or not, but This is the last Flannery in this cemetery that I'm aware of. This was my great uncle Vernon Flannery's first wife, Anna Darlene Flannery. I was also a pallbearer at this for her at that funeral. That's what I'm trying to say. And we hand dug this grave, or mostly hand dug it. She wanted that done, and we mostly done that. Her brother helped us when it got real hard with a termite backhoe. But as far as way I'm related to Darlene, her mother was a Felty, so I am related to Darlene that way. And she chose to keep the Flannery name, and she lived here on Laurel and Oldtown for I guess all of her life. I wanted to give you one more shot of the cemetery, the Flannery Davis side. I think that's a beautiful view. The pastor of this church as of right now is Brian Hanners. I went to school with him, and I think they just have Sunday morning service as of right now. As time goes along, I may do some more videos on families other than the Flannerys, but we'll just have to get the Flannerys done first, maybe, or when it's too cold and bad to get out and meander around, that we can come down here and do some of this and basically have some history put back. Somebody's on the, well, that's, you just had a Flannery get on camera, Linda Flannery. Her husband was Don Flannery, which was Leotis Flannery, my great uncle's son. So got another Flannery in there and didn't even intend on that. But be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends. I've been trying to share it with all the different genealogy groups that I'm associated with. So be sure and share this, and hopefully we can get a bunch of subscribers and keep doing this. And we hope everybody has a blessed day, and God bless.